My name is Sharyl WhiteHawk, and I am an Anishinaabe woman, mother, and grandmother. In 1986, my family decided to take other Native children into our home who didn't have a safe place to live. Our first foster son, Danny Boy, came. He was born to an alcoholic, drug-addicted mother who was in prison. When he came, he was 6 months old, and we were told he had failure to thrive syndrome. We believed love could cure everything, so we showered him with it, and he blossomed. But as he became mobile, I started to see things that concerned me. He grew more impulsive and destructive. Eventually, he became violent towards himself and our other children. He would act on impulse and be filled with remorse afterward, but couldn't seem to control it. I had to watch him non-stop. I tried everything I learned in parenting classes and books, and drew from my own motherly instincts and experience, and nothing was working. It only got worse. I felt like a failure and became exhausted and depressed. One evening, Danny pushed our youngest daughter over a railing. She fell 10 feet and fractured her skull and broke her leg. We took Danny to a psychiatrist who told us he had FAS, would never get better, only worse, and that he was a danger to children smaller than he was. We had to let him go, and it was the hardest thing I had ever done. He wept and begged me not to send him away, and both our hearts were broken. Eventually, my sister was able to take him in, and later my niece, so we were able to keep him in our extended family, which was a great relief to me. He called me, my sister, and my niece his 3 moms, and we loved him unconditionally and helped each other care for him. Unfortunately, the schools and society in general were not educated or equipped to help Danny, but punished him for his disabilities instead. He started a downward spiral. As a teen, he turned to alcohol and drugs to self-medicate, and later started to run away. When he was 21, he went missing, and we became alarmed when we didn't hear from him for 2 months. My sister got a call that his body had been found. We learned that he had been in a fight and thought he had killed a man. Filled with remorse, he went into the woods and carved "God Forgive Me" into a deer stand and hung himself. The 3 moms were devastated. We felt we had somehow failed him. Our grief was unresolved and heavy, and we carried it long after his cremation and funeral. 3 years later, he came in a dream to say he was happy and that he had never blamed his 3 moms for anything, and was worried that we were still carrying so much sorrow. He wanted us to let him go and finally spread his ashes. The family went to the Mississippi headwaters and spread his ashes in the river so he could travel like he had always wanted to. We told him everything we had wanted to say and let our grief go. We walked away finally feeling relief from the pain of his loss. I decided I needed to tell his story, and I believe he would want me to bring attention to the dire unmet needs of those affected by fetal alcohol exposure. I want to honor his memory and the love and joy he brought to us, and hopefully make something good come of the pain and misunderstanding he endured.